Hi and welcome back to your mat. My name is Anna, the Holy Banana, the Holy Yogi, and today I'm bringing you a class, very brief, but something that you can come to when you have a stiff or tense back. I know that this is something that I've been struggling with for the past couple weeks, being in the gym and training a lot and just being busy in my movement. And we need to tend to these things rather than just let them slide under the rug. So I'm going to bring you a nice yoga flow that you can do if you're ever feeling very tense or stiff in your back, whether you want to do this when you first wake up, midday, or before bed. It's something that you can come to whenever you need it. So all you'll need is a block, and we're actually going to get started right away in a supported fish. Now remember that you have a couple options in supported fish. You have the medium height, and this is the most common to take. You also have the low height of the block. Remember that the block has 3 height settings. If your back is super stiff, I wouldn't recommend the highest setting here, the 3rd setting. I would recommend one of the lower 2 settings. So I'm going to start with this medium setting, and if you have a pillow or another block, you can place it behind your head, up top behind this block, to support the back of the head, to take a little bit of tension out of the neck. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay back over this block in our supported fish. Make sure it runs right between those shoulder blades, and those arms are resting out by the sides. I like to tuck my hands underneath the low back for a little bit more of a shoulder opener. And let gravity do some work here, opening those shoulders. Make sure you keep taking some deep breaths, inhaling, expanding the ribs. And exhaling, pulling those ribs and belly button to spine. Whatever it is that brought you to your mat today, for this stiff, tense, low back flow, I want you to think it, even though it might feel frustrating that you're dealing with feeling this. I want you to thank this part of your body for bringing you to the mat today, for encouraging you towards a moment of self-care. We're here for just a few more breaths. If you can, close off that mouth, breathe evenly through the nose, inhaling and exhaling the same length. Good, take one more breath. And then gently rock over to one side or the other, pulling this block out from underneath you. Keep it nearby because we will need it in another moment. Pulling yourself back to a flat back. Let's hug these knees into the chest. Try to keep that low back down on the floor as you pull these knees in, finding a little bit of a release there. Good. Lower these feet to the floor, knees stay bent. And we're going to sway these knees left and right. And taking a couple sways like this, hopefully finding some of that stiffness and releasing it with our exhales as we drop the knees over to each side. If you want to incorporate the neck, you can turn the neck to the opposite side of the knees as you twist. But if that doesn't feel good, incorporating the neck, feel free to leave it behind. Good. Take one more rotation. And come back up through center. We're going to find this block. Again, press those heels down, lift the hips up, and slide this block underneath the hips. Find that back resting on the block. A nice little book on a shelf. Now, if you have a tense or sore back, you might not want to extend the legs here, but it is an option to reach the legs long and stay supported on the block behind the back. If that is not comfortable, or it just doesn't feel like it's doing anything good for your back, then keep those knees bent. I'm going to keep my knees bent today. Keep that breath moving in and out, nice and steady. Take a few more breaths here, feeling this ease of support behind the back. Good. Then start to activate by pressing into the heels, lifting the hips away from the block, and sliding the block out. Roll yourself back down to a flat back, knees into the chest one more time. Now, if your back is really stiff and you're not feeling this, then just rock over to the side and assist yourself up with your hand. Or hands can come behind the legs and find a little rock along the spine if this feels like a nice little massage for you. And then come up into your seat. Before we take a forward fold, let's keep those feet flat. Knees bent, cross the arms over each other, take the hands to opposite thighs, and snatch those legs. pull the belly button to the spine, chin to chest, and spread to the shoulders. And then inhale, come on up. And let's pull these legs in, or I'm sorry, let's let these feet go long and take a seated forward fold for a moment. So we're flexing the feet back towards the face. Notice I'm not just rounding in my spine here and staying at the back. I'm pulling my belly button forward so that I can actually get into these hamstrings, glutes, and low back. The longer we can extend that spine, the more we'll feel up the back body. Good, and bring yourself in. We're gonna bring this right heel all the way around to the right bum. Left heel in close to the pelvis. And then we're gonna fold over this left leg, letting the forehead come down to the floor. Feeling this release for the QL, the low back just above the hip and glute. Maybe you want to reach those arms forward, or maybe you want to keep them further in towards the body. Slowly walk your hands back underneath the shoulders if they extended out. And press yourself up. And we'll switch, bringing that left heel around to the left bum. Right heel into the pelvis. And then lift that chest and fold over this right leg, coming into the right side. And start to walk yourself up. And no fancy way, let's just come onto our knees here and come into a child's pose. So for our low back, let's take these knees together, feet together, tops of the feet down, pull the hips back to the heels, and again, arms can either go forward, stretching into the sides, or they can pull back by the sides, palms face up. Take just a couple more breaths here, melting that back over the legs.
Start to bring those hands wherever they are under the shoulders. And let's slowly round ourselves up. Come onto our hands and knees. We're going to come into some cat-cow. So take these very gentle, listening to how your back feels. Belly presses down, look forward and up. And exhale, round the spine. Drop the tailbone, chin to chest. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take a few more here. Last one. Let's come back to neutral. Tuck those toes, hips come up and back into our down dog. Let's pedal out those feet. Look to the top of the mat and step yourself forward, coming into your forward fold. So here, to protect our low back, rather than rounding here, this is only going to hurt your back more. Bend into those knees, press the tummy to the thighs, and let the head, neck, shoulders hang. Now, if you have to bend your knees a whole lot, that's so okay. Let it happen. Round yourself up, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way up. Inhale, arms up. And let's dive over, come into another forward fold. Bend into those knees, round yourself up. And inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold over. Bend into the knees, round yourself up. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold over. Good. From here, let's step it back, bring our knees back down. Hips back to the heels, one more time for another child's pose. Walk these hands up and over to the left for a little bit of a stretch into the side back. And then pull it up and over to the right. Stretch into the other side back. Come back through center. Let's walk our hands up and shoulders stack over hips. We're going to drop the chin to the chest and round the head around in a couple circles. Notice if this feels like any tugging on the spine or back as you roll it around. And then go the other direction. Feeling free to pause wherever it might feel extra sticky. And come back through center. Let's take one hand to the tummy, one hand to the chest. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Another inhale. Exhale. This time I want you to breathe directly to the back. Inhale. And exhale, hands come to heart center, thumbs brush that heart. A reminder that this practice is with us wherever we go. Let's take a deep inhale. And exhale,
A little bow towards yourself, towards each other. Thank you for helping me create this class today. And I hope that this loosened your back even just a little bit, even if it just felt like a nice stretch. I invite you to come back to this whenever you're feeling tense in your back. Honestly, if you're feeling really tense and it's been persisting for a long time, try this every day and see how it goes for your back in opening up. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I hope to see you on the mat again soon. All of my classes you'll find links to in the description below. If you're not in my membership, make sure to check it out. I look forward to seeing you there. Have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.